Sissy, no school. Sissy, no school now.
Well, here's the front seeding project. The corner here that's in the sun all day and doesn't get a whole lot of water has struggled a little bit more. But over here, I mean, this is already extremely thick. And it will only continue to get better, thicker, stronger. And we're just gonna keep cutting it, keep driving it out sideways. And this is pretty cool stuff here. We still are fighting this stupid purge lane over here. So we'll have to take an afternoon and sit here and pull all these stupid things out again. But that's kind of just what we're dealing with. We are a week removed from the top dressing and overseeding process. And you can see it's starting to come back to life. The grass that was able to keep its head poking through is starting to green up and thicken up. If you look over here, so I think right around here or so is where the deadline was. If you look right down the middle, so you can see healthy grass has started to reemerge and press out back into the yard at large. That section back there is pretty green. All through here it's greening up. And let's see if we can find some of our little baby grasses. Let us see. I did mow through here, just finished up mowing, and that you're definitely not supposed to do. But I think probably the best spot to see germination is back in through here. So right in here, you got little baby grasses. Back in through there. And in here, the wide open spot, it's actually pretty good all the way through. So I think we should have quite a bit of success. Now the only big concern is I'm gonna be on the road here the next couple weeks. So I'm not gonna be able to water this with the consistency that it would call for, which isn't ideal, but I think hopefully it will be okay because I haven't watered seed up in the front that those contractors put down, and that's come in exceptionally well, all things considered. So I think we'll be okay. But it needs to be said, and I'm gonna flip you around here. Not many days go by that I don't get incredibly frustrated that if I would have just done nothing, my whole yard would look like this. This stuff here looks so good, and it's irritating. But what the heck, let's bring it back and we'll just give it a new opportunity. Quick morning trip out to throw away some tomatoes, but look at how good this is doing back here. That's pretty exciting stuff. Look at that. Some of the taller stuff is mature that stayed here, but look at the little baby grasses. Oh, little baby grasses. Stay strong. So this afternoon, I'm gonna get a mow in the front yard, and I wanna get a good edge locked in on the side of the driveway. So I'm gonna show you how I do that with my string trimmer and this Black & Decker edge hog. But before we do that, this blade desperately needs to be replaced. So let's do that quick. All right, so what I have here is the Black & Decker edge hog. I picked this up from the Amazon. If you search Black & Decker edge hog replacement blade, this will be the first thing that shows up. And it is, in fact, the right one to replace this guy right here. So, looks like 9/16 is gonna work well enough. So we are going to jam ourselves a screw in here and just be a little aware, because this stuff, as anything else, is going to be, at least to some degree, pretty sharp. I'll figure out how to do this without hurting myself, because this is on there tight. There we go. Success. Okay, let us not lose anything. Nut washer. Washer number 1 that comes with the blade. Blade assembly. Washer number 2 that comes with the blade. All right, so This actually comes with new washers, so we can use those instead of the old ones. Nice little feature. I think, and here's another point as well. I bought this edger for 25 bucks from somebody on Facebook Marketplace, and this blade's $10. So I'm $35 into this. Is it ideal to be corded? No, but I very much like this piece of equipment for what it is. All right, so the same order we took them off. Washer. Let's make sure we have the blade the right way. It's spinning this way, so here we go. That's on there. New washer number 2. Get these guys back on there. Tighten it up and we'll be good to go. All right. Let's go edge. One little thing to highlight here too, look at the difference. Those are lined up over the bolt. Like a ½ inch worth of blade that's been taken off there. So this hopefully should do pretty well. Let's go give it a shot. So the edging process I have is 2 steps. The first of which is with that edge hog to set the trench. But however, one thing it doesn't do great is because you're moving in the same direction the blade's spinning. What it can kind of do is just lay the grass in rather than cutting it off. I'll show you kind of how that results. So then I come back through with the string trimmer and clip off the rest of those clippings. Get that good clean edge on there. So like I said, you can see how all these grass blades are kind of trained to go that way. So they don't quite get all clipped off by the edger, but we'll come back in and see after we do the first round here, and then we'll come back through with the string trimmer and we'll show you before and after on both. So there's just the one pass with the edger. Now I will say with the new blade on there, it is doing better, but you can see right here is a really good example. So see how basically the front of the edger has just taken this grass, pulled it this way, and then the blade hasn't touched it at all. So if we kind of brush back across all of this, you get all of these pieces of grass that haven't actually been clipped off. So we're going to come back the other way with my string trimmer, which actually spins the opposite direction to the edger, and we're going to come back in the opposite direction that you just saw, and we'll see the result that we get there. So there's again one pass with the edger, and we'll come back with the string trimmer. Admittedly not my best work ever. However, you can see now we don't have as many. There's still some, but we don't have as many of the stragglers. And so then we get a pretty darn, not perfect, but clean edge for the tools that I have at my disposal. Now, if you want to go spend, a few more $100 on a steel trimmer or Echo edger and get the heads or whatever, I'm sure that does a better job than this. However, for the $35 that I'm into that Black & Decker edger, pretty pleased with it. Now you've seen how I use that, kind of how I help it along a little bit with its flaws with the string trimmer. We make that thing work pretty darn well for us. Big ol' sweat drop on my glasses there. Hold. All right, so the last thing we're gonna do today, all right, not the last thing, I haven't mowed the front yet, I'm not gonna do that yet, but last thing we're gonna do in the backyard for this week to hopefully help it survive, help that new seed as best as I can, because I'm not going to be able to water it every day this week. It's going to go like 4 days without water because it just won't rain, and I'm going to be out of town. So fingers crossed that most of that survives. But we're going to give it a deep water here, probably an hour and a half, 2 hours or so, walking across the backyard, each section, and get it as wet and soaked as we can and hope for the best for the week. That's pretty fun.
Well, I'd love for a celebratory after mow little discussion with you guys here, but freaking ow! It turns out there is a beehive up in the tiger lilies in the culvert up there. And I ran it over with the mower and they took it out of my legs. So I'm not having a great evening here. Hold. Freaking ow! But we did get it done and I filmed some of it, which is a first for a little while. So we're gonna go clean the mower off, blow the driveway off, and nurse my wounds. Because, again, freaking ow. Happy Labor Day, everyone.